Welcome at Forest from Farms. I thought it was a good idea to show you on a little video what we've done until now with our property, which is 4.5 hectares large. We bought it when it was land and mainly grass for feeding cows and cattle. So we thought of giving it back to nature, and after almost 16 years, this is the result. I'll walk slowly through the field to give you an impression. So this was all bare when we bought it, and the main reason why we let trees grow is for climate change reasons, obviously, but also for giving shelter. When this was all grassland and it was hot like this, you could see animals were suffering from the heat. There was no shade at all. It was all just grass and dry grass, and it was hot. So there wasn't much wildlife to be seen. Now it's got plenty of trees. Some of the trees we planted ourselves, especially there where there were already trees. In the shelter of the trees, the new trees, of course, didn't need so much watering in the beginning. Then later, now, trees are just growing everywhere out of their own. We don't do anything about these trees. Most of these trees now are actually just wildly sown trees. They come up the way they want to. So what we do is we only create some paths so that we can easily walk down to the pond, which you can see. The pond is a little bit further down there. You can see the edge, and that's all. We don't cut grasses. In the beginning, we did cut some weeds that were invasive, but we do that still. But for the rest, we just leave it. And we make some paths, which is also for wildlife quite useful. Deer just run through here more easily. The deer that I've posted are probably just passing through because there's more area, there's more land. Further down there's a bigger lake further down, so there's water there. But we do see them very regularly, and they might also be staying in the bushy area just down the field, which is also ours. So this is a little bit the impression of a piece of grassland that's now turned to nature and is a forest. Is becoming a forest. Especially also for giving shelter and for having trees to combat climate change. Okay, we've arrived now at a pond. We made this pond ourselves, or at least we had somebody come over with a digger, and he dug the pond just at the very beginning when we came here. The pond is reasonably full this year because it has been raining quite a lot in the end of winter and in spring. The pond is really important because, as you can see, it's full of, it's just really important for wildlife, for biodiversity, for insects, for birds, for deer. We've got boar coming around here as well. As I said, there's another big pond, so I'm pretty sure they're just passing through. They're not staying here, but animals have the opportunity to drink fish we don't have much fish, but there are a lot of frogs, and we think this is really an important asset for our property, and we are enjoying as well the amount of animals that we can see here actually almost daily. This was all bare, there was really nothing, only grass. And this is the purpose of Forests from Farms. We want to give back land to nature, to the trees, to animals, to flora. We don't mind whatever plants are growing. There's orchids growing in spring. Anything that comes up and it's natural in this environment can flourish here. That's why we're doing it. There's a little butterfly. We had enormously amount of butterflies this spring. There's a lot of dragonflies here around the pond, many frogs. So, and the photos that are actually published on the Forests from Farms Facebook page and Twitter account, they are taken with these sort of cameras. I'll just walk down to one of them. This is the moment that I'm going to pick up one of the cards. So it's just a camera like that, which I look at once in 2 days, not every day, but once in 2 days. And I stuck it to a pole, and there on four other. And there's another one, and I'll probably show you some pictures later. But they're very useful. And the previous one was a wide angle, and this is just a normal camera. And this way we can see what's actually coming on our property. Something that I forgot to say is that in the beginning we had just normal ducks coming here. Now we also start to get other type of ducks that we've never seen before, grebes and moorhens, and so obviously there's something that attracts them, and they have their babies here. They're now big, and so the ecosystem obviously is maturing, as we don't do anything to it at all. We just leave it. There's no pesticides, there's no herbicides, nothing is being used here for maintenance. There are some people who say, yes, but you need to maintain your natural areas because otherwise it's not pretty. You need cows, cattle, horses to maintain it. We think it's total rubbish. The surrounding areas are already all used for cattle. They are already grassland. They are used for crops. We think it's good to have certain areas like this just kept to the wild. Don't intervene with nature. Let it be. Let it do. Let the animals also find their shelter. You cannot organize everything everywhere. If a tree falls down, okay, it falls down. It's good for bugs to stay in during the winter, for nourishing bugs. It's natural. This is natural, and everything else which is being maintained with horses, wild horses, cattle. This is just to please the eye of the humans, and it's definitely not helping nature. Not we don't think it is. If you do use cattle, then at least give them treatments, look after them, sterilize them if they get too many. But it's not necessary. This is beautiful enough. Not all the trees are just came here out of their own will. Of course, these conifers didn't come here. We planted those, and they've now matured. Other trees, well, have sown themselves. So of course it is a bit we have helped this ecosystem or this nature reserve a little bit by planting some trees, but that's all. Going to the next cameras, so this might move a little bit. I'm taking the path that the deer usually take, because this is nice and bare, you can see. And I'm going to have a look at the other cameras, take the cards out. Right, there we are. This is a corridor that they use very often. You can see them go through here. This goes to a field further down that belongs to us as well. And here is, I think I will focus it well. I can't see it very well. Here's the another camera. I'm going to switch it off. I think it's something has been rubbing against it. Anyway, and here's a card which I take out. It's just a little card like that. And then another camera is hidden here. Yes, you can see it. Switch it off. And yeah, you can see it. Well, maybe you can't see it, but I take the card out and I take it home, bring it to my computer and see what's on. Okay, so just walking through here just for a little moment to see. Here I have been cutting a little bit of the weeds, so we do some cutting by hand. Everything is done by hand. I'm pretty sure the animals they eat brambles, the deer eat brambles, but here the bamboo is getting a bit out of hand, so I'll cut the bamboo. Here's another view on the pond. So this is how it started. We thought of using it as a swimming pond, but obviously it's not anymore what we are doing. We're leaving it for nature for a while. Okay, now just going along this, and then we'll go back to the house. So this is still ours. And the next piece of land was actually given to us for free, which is now full of trees. The farmer didn't know what to do with it anyway, and it belonged to him, and as there was a tiny little pond at the back, and we were talking about a pond, he said, okay, well, why don't you get this piece of land too? So this is for free, and this was all bare grassland, of which I can show you some photos. We were thrilled to have this piece of land. Now it's trees, it's shelter, natural shelter for wildlife. It's obvious that animals like it here. Otherwise, why would they be here? Why would they come here on their own account? We are close to a road, so in a way they know that from that point of view, they can't be hunted. And now I'm walking back to the house near the same path, and I'll see you up on the computer with the news photos.